Welcome. This is the Ruti Tarot, and we are just going to start a reading. This reading is improvised, there's no plan for it, and I'm going to start using my own tarot deck, which is the Ruti Tarot. If you want one, you just have to message me here on YouTube or on any of my social networks, which will be listed in the caption or whatever you call that, the box under this video. So this is my deck, this is the death card, this is the moon, and so on, the emperor. I created it fully myself, and I'm very proud about it. And everyone who's been using it are very happy with it. So I'm going to be printing a new batch really soon. So please, if you want it, make sure that you are on the list. First come, first served. And all that said, let's start the reading. So first, we're going to see what are the themes that we're going to touch on for this reading. As you can see, I chose a very different setting this time. And let's see how it works out. Let me know if you prefer looking at me explaining or if you like this format. Because ultimately, what I like about tarot readings is that you can play them in the background and you don't need to watch the whole time. But it's true that sometimes I do like to look at the cards, look at the expressions of the person, especially if it's the first time, so I can get their vibe. So you can watch my other videos and you will get the vibes straight away, unless you are very prejudgmental. In that case, you will only see the projection of your thoughts. Why am I saying that? I have no idea, but it might be related to the reading. I'm going to pull 2 more cards, maybe 3 more, we'll see. Ooh, okay, interesting cards. Where's this going to? Where are we moving towards? What are we moving away from? Okay, 2 more would be nice. It's interesting because we have court cards, which means that they are part of the very last few cards of the sequence of each element. And in this case, we have the element of earth on one hand and of fire on the other hand. 1 card, 1 more. I'm just going to pull 1. Okay, 2 major arcanas. I want to do something about it. No, okay, let's leave it how it was. So, what do we have here? We have the royalty. This is how I called it. It's not a king, it's not a queen, it's the royalty. And that way we are more inclusive and less patriarchal. Of earth, in this case, of coins, of pentacles. Okay, so it's like the king and the queen together. As you can imagine, I don't read in a traditional way. For those of you who don't know me yet, I prefer so much more to get creative, because that's my whole point with my whole business, which is not just tarot. I'm also a creativity mentor and an artist myself. So let's continue. I don't want to ramble too much. We have the what would be like the page, okay, the page of wands, which in this case I called it the page of wands. And we have the chariot, and we have the two of coins or pentacles. And guess what card this is? So this is number 11 in Roman numbers. And we have a scale of some sort here, which is based on the story of how Ma'at in the Kemetic culture, ancient Egypt culture, would test people who were trying to pass from one life to the next. And the test consisted of weighing their heart against the weight of a feather. If the heart is as light as the feather, you could pass to the next episode of the journey. If the heart was heavier, that meant that you still had things to solve, that you did not resolve your life in this lifetime, and so you were sent somewhere else. I can't fully remember the whole story, so if someone wants to share in the comments, you're welcome to do so. This is all about balance, of course, but that is a very abstract um, explanation, right? Like, okay, we're always balancing things out in our lives every day. We're trying to get to work in time, or we're trying to make ends meet, or etc., etc. But here we have another card that is talking about balance. And this one is more specific because it's talking about the element of earth, and it's talking about coins. It could be related to money, okay? That would be the most common perspective on it. But I want to go a little farther. And the next thing that I think about after money, when I see coins, when I see the pentacles, is the body, is physicality. I'm sorry for the glimmer. Let's do it like this, so at least it's not so annoying. Maybe you didn't even see it, but to me it's annoying. Okay. So I don't know why we're starting by the end, but I just want to let you know that I'm aware of that, and that it's not good or bad. It's just simply happening like that, and it might still be a message. With the chariot, we have movements, and here I portrayed some kind of spaceship, based on one of the spacecrafts that are used in Star Wars in the movie. I used to play a game, a video game. It was more a PC game where, I mean, it was about racing with these spacecrafts, and the one that you were meant to um, drive, or I don't know how you call it when where you're flying something. Yeah, yes, fly it. He had these two tentacles up front, and it was very cool, very interesting. I'm sure if you were a Star Wars fan, you know what I'm talking about, and if not, you can go check it out. It's very very interesting. I'll try to even find in what movie it appears, or what was the name of the game, but it was a racing game. This movement is not random, though. Again, there is this sense of balance, there is this sense of duality, and there is this sense of an objective, specifically in this card. So far, it was kind of abstract here. Here, there is an objective. And it's funny because, I mean, I drew this card myself, but it's been a long time that I haven't really looked at this card so much and realized about this one detail here. And today is just really catching my attention, and what it transmits in this moment to me is this sense of direction. So there is an objective that you're following that is actually crystal clear. And it's as if the feeling I'm getting is like you have everything planned already. Everything is positioned in the right place. It's like you have been taking the time and the energy to invest into planning every detail of this move. And yet, I have a feeling of stillness. Even though there's movement here and there's movement here too, in some way, this is also a card of movement in terms of its action, its fire, its inspiration, its drive, and it's the page. So there's already these, these lessons that have been learned with the element of fire and everything that it represents, which is also that creative force in its potence, in it's not materialized in the same way that it happens with earth, which is a more rigid idea of creativity, which is good for some things and not so good for other things. Here is fire. So we're at the beginning of the mastering of these elements, which tells me that there are some actions that have not been taken yet for this plan to set off. And I'm looking at the fire here, the fire here. I love drawing fire, by the way. I just love making this shape. I always love it. It's as if even the gears of this spacecraft are on, but you're still not moving. Why are you not moving? That's interesting. So we have here the royalty of coins. This is the maximum, the highest, the widest, the biggest, the greatest expression of the element earth. And again, it's like there is this sense of stability. The highest expression of any form of energy is here, really. And it's earth. And sure, earth can move with an earthquake, for example, but I don't have that feeling in this reading at all. The feeling I have is that this is what we've been preparing. We've been preparing the spacecraft. We've been planning how it will work while it's flying. We've put together all the pieces. And we are ready to take off. But there is still something here that needs to find justice. This is the card of justice. There's something that needs to find that balance. There must be an exchange that happens, quote unquote, in real life. Something that can be touched, not just thought, not just a potential. Yeah. Okay, so that's the overall message to begin this reading. Let's see where it takes us. I kind of want to leave this card here as the reminder, okay? Because it's like we're already inside of this ship, okay? We might even be moving already, but it's like we're still going through maybe a part of the journey that is it requires us to go very slow, almost to the point of stopping. So now I'm starting to feel this sensation of movement, but it's just so subtle right now. So we're going to use other decks. This is one of my favorite decks as well, the Lightseer's Tarot. Um, I want to be honest. I got this second hand from someone who was reselling it by a very small price, and it was very sad when I realized that it was a copy version. I hope YouTube doesn't um, bother me with this information that I'm giving, but I want to be honest because as an artist that created her own tarot deck, I would be pissed if that happened to me. So I want to respect the the artist and the creatress. Plus, I just really like this tarot deck. It's amazing. The pictures, everything. It's almost as if it was the more longer term tarot project that I would be making and that I will be making, in terms of how many details it has, how every card has been so deeply thought through. And I thought through my the creation of my tarot deck, absolutely. In fact, it took many years to even get to finally start drawing it. But once I started, it was just in the flow, like bam, 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 one card, two cards, three cards, and like that, it was already in the printing industry. Let's come back to the reading. I digress. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Eight of Wands. You may have seen that I placed them, however, um, not in the order they came out. And that is part of my readings again. That's part of my creative way of existing on this plane, and probably in many other planes, if not all. But I did realize that these two cards came up together. So the King of Wands, the Eight of Wands, I feel like these two go together. I feel like these two go together in this way, and I feel like this is kind of separate here. So that there is like three messages in one. So let's see, where are we going from here? The King of Wands is talking again about fire, okay? Again about action, again about something that happens really fast. And I don't know if you can see the connection here, but I definitely can. You know, it's there is this directionality, okay? The same way as these lines here, all of these ones are pointing towards an objective, and that is so interesting. I love when that happens, and that's why I also love using different decks, because you cannot make this up. So that expected movement is happening, it's definitely happening, okay? Sorry, I think I just hit the camera. Yes, never mind. And it's happening very fast. And maybe the message here is, okay, things have been slow. Things have been slow. In this slowness, okay, this is the Knight of Pentacles, is the slowest knight of tarot. He's taking his sweet time to plant the seeds, go for a walk with the horse. I really like this card. It gives such good vibes. This is how I want to live my life. But we cannot always stay there, because sometimes we need to go fast, or life goes fast, and we have no other choice than follow that energy flow. But while we've been in a state almost of hibernation, is what's coming up for me, this word, hibernating. It was a time to make decisions. It was a time to allow ourselves to even doubt many times. And that's the double edge of going slow, is that yes, you have time to think things through and to prepare, but it also gives time to doubt, to change your mind, to have negative thoughts creep in. And that's a little bit what this represents for me, okay? And the feeling is that we're coming from this energy and we're moving towards this. Everything's going to happen fast. I probably said that like 10 times in the last 2 minutes. And when we combine these two, this is what I'm getting now, we have this energy of the Empress. The Empress needs that slow vibes to feel herself, and needs that activation, that impulse and motivation. So there is the gestation phase, and there is the phase of birth. Birth looks more like this than anything else. Gestation looks like this. How interesting. I'm loving this message already. Let's see what else we got. And I'm going to do this thing of leaving the main cards here, because then, we can always come back to them and remember where are we coming from in this message. Oh, okay. Got you. Now we're going to use another deck. This is very known, very well known. I mean, this one too. And of course, Root Tarot is already famous. So we're only working with the good stuff here. This is the Wisdom of the Oracle. I'm sorry, I never remember the names of the artists, and I'm happy enough that I can remember the name of the decks. So, Wisdom of the Oracle, it is. Treasure Island, Orphaned. So we have the Empress here. She's a mother figure in many readings. And now we have Orphaned. Let's see what else we have here. Unfinished Symphony. Absolutely. And Go the Distance. Absolutely. Okay. Let's put this together here again. Well, well. These and these are like opposite energies to me. Okay, we're gonna have to do this thing again. Okay, let's do it. I just don't want the glares here. There we go. Treasure Island always reminds me, and mind you, I I do read the descriptions that the creators give in their flyers, in the descriptions, in the manual, as to say. But again, I read in an intuitive, creative way, and so that's why, if you feel drawn to look for the meanings of any of these, or any of these, or any of these, for this, maybe you're gonna need to buy it because it's nowhere online yet. But for this, you can check it out online. And yet, I don't think it's necessary because I have an idea here. This card to me represents self worth. This treasure is you, is your worth, is your value, is the things that are dear to you, within you. And even when they are outside of you, the people and the things that you love, or that you desire, or that you feel inspired by, or motivated by, they are still an extension of you. They are the projection of who you are, same as what you don't like. Overall, whatever that is catching your attention is because there is being a recognition, a mirror effect, a reflection. So, anyway, self worth. And then we have the card of orphaned. And as you know, the orphaned, I mean, it speaks for itself, really. It's a feeling of abandonment, of unworthiness. So, are we trying to find a middle point or the balance between acknowledging this aspect of us and this aspect of us, your worth, but also your hurts and discomforts? Could be. We have Unfinished Symphony, we can have Go the Distance. There's definitely something that has not ended yet, a cycle. And that's why the ship hasn't reached its full speed yet, its full potential. In the end, there is this parallelism that at least I can see with the sphere. You know, this person sitting here is the same as being inside of the spaceship, the spacecraft. These tentacles remind me of these as well. And again, this sensation of waiting. It's almost like a waiting. And then we have the sign of go the distance, move, time to go for it, get to your objective again. Okay. What is the correlation between these? You know, I'm feeling drawn to do something that I think, and I'm not saying this to be sensationalistic or, you know, to grab your attention or anything, but I think I've never done this before. I normally just relate them like this as well, like like a tower. But today we're going to fill in the gaps here. And we're going to use another deck. I'm literally sitting on my bed, so I guess that you can tell that this is not a very hard surface. And we're going to use the classical, amazing, marvelous Rider White Smith tarot deck. Smith was the artist that was a woman and who was brown. And I think that's very relevant to bring up, since most of history is told only from the perspective of white men, like it or not. So I always like to remind anyone learning about tarot about this. I can't remember her name right now, but her last name was Smith, so you can look it up. And of course, there was some injustice in how she was paid, or I can't remember exactly, but it was not a clean job on the side of the hirer. What is going on here? I wasn't even paying attention, and all of a sudden we have some kind of betrayal, it seems. And we have the same card that we had before, which is the Seven of Cups. Oh, sorry, it was not here. It was here. The Seven of Cups. Okay. The delay on this move that you want to make seems to be coming from a relation with someone. This can be romantic, sexual, affective. This could be a family member. This could be a friend. This could be a mentor, even. But it's as if something didn't work out. It doesn't even have to be necessarily that this person betrayed you on purpose, but maybe you betrayed yourself. In fact, what I'm getting now is that we go from the Two of Cups towards the Seven of Cups. There is this dispersion of energy. It's like the energy is concentrated in two, and suddenly here we have seven options. And to be honest, I'm not even seeing this card anymore as a relation, even though I just mentioned that. Maybe that's for some of you, not for everybody. Right now, it makes so much more sense if we see this as two options you had, two possibilities, a co creation of some sort between you and someone, or some situation, or something something you were creating with, where you betrayed yourself because you got distracted basically by all the possibilities. And this may be coming from that sense of abandonment, from whatever wound that you're still holding on to, that is still a limiting belief in your in the creation of your reality. And I guess that it has to do with the healing, or the reharmonizing, reorganization of all that energy that got spread out due to that past of turmoil, where you learned that you were not worthy enough. And overall, the whole message is the same as always. I mean, almost every reading is going to have the same message in it, which is you are worthy. But here, there is some specific project. And even more than a project, I think that it is a decision that involves many other aspects of your life. And in many cases, it can even be about moving into another country, another house, another province, city. But it involves a big movement. And this big movement is like it's there, it's almost happening. It's almost like you can touch it. You can your one of your feet is already there, but the other one is still in the past, or is still in the turmoil. Is still You're still learning how to get out of the mud, of the muddy waters. That's why it's an unfinished symphony. And what this card is saying is, it doesn't matter. Go the distance. Do what it takes to get to where you want to go, to your objective. It's not a time to give up. You are already in the move. Everything was already set into motion. So, in a way, be patient, be compassionate with your circumstances, with your inner process, even other people, if they are involved in this move. But don't wait. Keep moving, keep arranging things for this to happen. Don't lose track of your objective. The whole time I look at this card, I cannot see anything else than this green star. And this green star is like a portal. It's almost like you're projecting into going into that spiral, which is like a new reality. And it projects also into matter, another reality, because this is kind of like a coin, like a pentacle. So again, it brings up this feeling, this idea of earth, of something that materializes. Okay, so I'm getting all magical here, but that's how I see it. That's how I see it. So I want to ask something, because okay, we know that you betrayed yourself in some way, but okay, but how do you get out of this? How do you get out of this? How? And I mean, the first answer that comes up is by not losing track of your objective. Okay, yes, but while I keep my eyes on the prize, my foot is stuck. How do I unstuck my foot? Let's ask. Because you got the Empress here. Look, these cards are so beautiful how they're coming out. I'm really loving how this effortless intuitive reading is happening. Look at these messages, and I kind of want to leave the cards like this. I'm gonna put this one here actually. Yeah, it's almost like taking off. Okay, sorry, getting distracted. That's what a creative mind has to deal with when it's not enjoying it fully. Because being creative is enjoyable most of the time, but sometimes you go a little too far and you get distracted. And everything that I say in a reading is a message for you. So even if I'm talking about myself, or saying weird comments, even being a little cringe, like I just was, awkward, saying awkward things, almost like filling in the voids, I'm not. There is a message in what I'm saying. I'm basically in some form of trance that I enter when I start reading. And whatever comes out of my mouth is purposeful. Okay? So let's see, what is the purpose of this? Okay. 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 Wow. That was an explosion of information that just happened in like 2 seconds. That was crazy. Because I saw this girl or this person holding that surfing board, jump into the water, and something went wrong there, and she sunk in the deep blue sea. That happened once, but this time she made sure she's getting there. She realized that a surfboard was not enough. She needed a team, she needed messengers and protectors, and she needed a boat, not a surfing board. But look at her. Jesus. Look at her. She's looking a little nostalgic. She's had enough. She's had enough. I know you've had enough. I know it's been tiring. I know that it really seems like the day is never coming. But you got used to that. You're already moving to calmer waters. You're already moving to where you're meant to go. But you're so tired. And the stress and the lack of confidence that crept in so many times has worn you out. This is what I see in this card. The good news is that you're already going there. You're moving. It's happening. You're arriving to that other shore or island, wherever you're going on this boat, on this ship, on this spaceship. Ship. We got a little emotional there. Just bring back the Ruti deck, the Ruti Tarot. This reading is being so much longer than I expected, but I'm rolling with it. I haven't posted in many weeks. I thought I was going to post every week. It's not happening again. Okay, whatever. Who cares? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with the stress of having to be perfect. No. I want to be consistent. That's another story. I want to be responsible. I mean, accountable. My battery is low, so we're ending this soon. So, oh my god, two of cups again. Okay, okay, okay. I never want to go in that direction because every freaking reading on the internet is about that. But I guess that's what we all want to know about. This might very much involve a relationship, okay, of some sort, some type of love, and not just superficial love, but like a deep bond, a deep bond with someone. I mean, it could be a love of a friendship of some sort. It's happening, okay? The point here is not for those of you who are not fully sure what person this might be talking about. And look, if it's not a person, it's a project. So take my words and translate them into your reality. It might not be, if you don't know exactly who this is about or what this is about, that's not even the point anyway. The point is that that thing that you want to feel is happening. You are being led to it. It's like, sometimes in life we are at a crossroads, and we don't really know where we're going, and we don't even know what's our objective, right? In this case, you don't even have an option. In this case, it's so fated, it's so much part of what you came to experience in this lifetime. If there's any other, because I don't know. I don't know. I think so, I guess, but I don't know. Here and now, the evolution that you're following on your path is being absolutely created and guided for you to reach that feeling of connection. And that feeling of connection is bringing such a strength, a sense of power, creative power. This is a card of strength. And it requires a lot of strength to be able to stay in the center of that force that is creative, the creative energy of all that is. We don't know if this is being projected out of the third eye or if it's going into the third eye. And you know why? Because it's the same. It's the same. It's like a Taurus. It's like a reflection of yourself. So this path was created by you. Remember how we talked at the beginning, how this was created, um, taking your sweet time, right? You were putting all the pieces together, this earthy energy of making something. That is the path that you've been creating. So if there is a message that I can tell you as a final closure to this reading, is trust. I know everybody tells you trust, but seriously, that's all you need to do. That's why you need to train. That's the muscle that helps you to remember. I'm not even going to tell you to believe. I'm going to tell you to remember that life, that creation, that the creator is working on your favor always, for you to reach the sun, for you to reach that Two of Cups, for you to reach that joy, that sensation of things making sense, of understanding something, of knowing the truth of why this, why that. And it's a glimpse, you know. It's a glimpse when you reach that point. The rest of the time we are just walking that path and creating it, and getting to enjoy that part of the journey. That's the message here. It's like, yes, if you're looking for a relationship, or if you want your relationship to work better, it's there already for you. But that is not even the point. The point is the knowing of how you are creating all of that, of how you have that capacity, of how you build that creative muscle, and who you are becoming with that. Because this card in my deck, in my tarot deck, Ruti tarot deck, is also talking about identity. The beauty of creating your own identity, and or discovering it, learning who you are. That is what all these objectives are for. The objective is actually the tool, and the path is the true objective. Ooh, what a message. I'm really liking this message. I really needed this message myself. You are the prize. You are that green star. This is just one more reminder, just told in the Ruti way. But this is the same freaking message that we need to hear the whole time, because we forget, because we get distracted. we get so distracted because there's drama and there's all these things. It's not the other person, it's not that goal, it's you. Is the strength it requires, the beauty it requires to be you. That's the price. I'm gonna leave it there for you. Thank you so much, and see you in the next reading, whenever it may be. Marina Ruti, for you and for the world.